We're back again. We're going to look at the plants today. So I'm going to change the video to show you above it so you can see all the different types of plants. Here we have our whole tray of plants, and I'll show you what's in each one and how they're growing. So here we have the basil, which is an herb you add to some dishes. We have just one growing. These ones might sprout soon. In this row, we have parsley. It looks like we have two that sprouted, and they kind of look the same, but you can tell they're a little bit different. This one has pointier leaves. This one has rounder leaves. So even though they look kind of the same, they're a bit different. This is this is a basil, and this was a dill plant. I got them mixed up. This is a basil plant, and its other little friends are going to grow soon. Over here, we have, at the top, we have some Swiss chard, just little ones growing here. You know how I planted more than one seed? Sometimes you're going to get more than one sprout. We have our bok choy growing as well. We have some zucchinis starting to sprout, so there's one there and up there. The cucumbers are a little bit smaller still, so they're just little. Not one in there yet, that's okay. And we have our squash too. So this one's just starting to sprout. It's still leaned over actually. Oh, I covered it up. That's okay. And this one too. The reason I plant more than one of each type of plant is sometimes they don't grow. If this one never grows, at least I still have two squash plants. Over here, you can see the green onions, and you can tell that they're different. Their leaves are nice and long when compared to some of the other plants. So you can tell that this whole section has green onions. Over here we have spinach. It's taking a little bit longer. We just have one. Hopefully they grow. Sometimes they don't. That's the way plants work. Here we have our peppers, and it looks like we're getting lots of different pepper plants coming up, which is great to see. I love to eat peppers. And here, the biggest ones are the lettuce. Do you see them all growing? Look how tall some of them are. And they each have this double leaf. So there's like a bump on that leaf and a bump here. Bump over there on that leaf. And they all look the same because they're all lettuce. And some of them don't have any yet, and that's okay. And here, you can see some of them are a little bit growing, but there's actually nothing in here if any seeds are growing in there. It's just because the seeds were from outside. Just regular living seeds. Because this one I left empty for more lettuce later. I think I'm actually going to plant them next week. So I get 2 weeks in between my two lettuce crops. So I'll have some lettuce here, and I'll plant some lettuce again next week. I also planted these ones, if you remember, in the bags. They haven't been growing so much. I'm wondering if because the bag kind of closes on itself at the top. It's open, but it doesn't stay open a lot. I'm wondering if maybe they don't get enough air. If it's kind of too wet in there and I'm kind of drowning them. But this is an experiment, so we'll see. I'll show you the other ones too, but nothing's really growing in there yet. If it doesn't work, at least we still have our pots. So here's these ones too. Again, I haven't seen any little sprouts in them. If I do see a sprout, I will show you again. But if they don't work, that's okay. That's what experimenting is for. It's to try, see what happens. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay. We still have all of our plants. If you've been planting seeds along with me, you can send me pictures of those. You can draw them. I'd love to see how your plants look. If you're not planting seeds because you didn't have any, that's okay too. You can just watch along with what I do. So I'm going to show you how I water them now. I was using a little watering can, but it was a bit too big for such baby plants. They were getting a bit too much water. So I'm using a spray bottle. But I want to make sure I spray each plant a couple times so that the water gets all the way into the bottom of the soil. The roots, if this is the soil and your roots are down here, if only the top of the soil ever gets wet, the roots won't grow nice and low down like they're supposed to. They'll stay near the top. And that doesn't make a very strong plant. You need to water your plants so the water gets all the way down. So all the way down into the bottom of the tray. The bottom of the soil, so that the roots can go down all the way and suck up nutrients and water right from the bottom. If you only ever water the top, the roots will try to grow at the top, and then if roots are only here and wind comes when I put them outside, the roots pop out of the soil and the plant falls down, and that's not very good. So you need to water your plants less often. So not as many days, but you want to give them more water each time you do. So I spray my whole plants. I'm not going to do that now, but I spray every plant probably about 3 times. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 if it's got a little extra soil in it. I'm pretty pleased with how our plants are looking. I hope some of the other ones sprout up. And if they don't, that's okay. That's why I planted extra. And now I'll tell you a little bit about your activity that I'd like you to do. Your activity for plants today is to write me a how-to lesson about how to plant a seed and how to care for a plant. So if you met somebody who didn't know anything about seeds, anything about plants or how they grew, how could you teach them how to plant a seed? How to plant and care for it, plant a seed and care for a plant. So you could, if you wanted to make an intro or introduction for your writing piece, you could ask them a question like, have you ever planted plants yourself? Or have you ever tried to grow a seed? Or you could make a sound like, wow, look how great our seeds are growing. Do you want to plant one too? So you could get a little intro. Or you can just start right into your how to take care of a seed. So to plant a seed, you need to, you might need to go back into the other older video and watch what I did to plant seeds. You need to get soil. You need to have something to plant them in. You need to dig a little hole, put your seed in, cover it up with soil. Maybe you might need to go watch and see everything I do, but I would like you to write them down in the steps. So, what kind of supplies do you need? What does that person need to gather? If they're going to plant some seeds and they just have seeds, that's great. But do they have something to plant them in? Do they have soil that's ready? Do they have water to water their seeds once their seeds are planted? You need to think of the supplies you need. And once the seed is already planted, how do you take care of it? Does it need a stuffed animal? Probably not, but it does need water. How often do you think you should water it? Take a guess. We're still learning and it's okay. I want to see what you do know. And when you're all the way done, when you have your steps, so step 1, gather your materials. Gather something to put the plants in. Gather the soil. Gather the seeds. And then, should it say, then water your plant as it grows? That's not in order. First, we need to plant the seed. So make sure your steps are in order. Step 1, gather everything. Step 2, put the soil in the pot. The soil is not in the pot yet. Step 3, can you put the seed on top? Or do you need to dig a hole? Look through this. I've also sent a video along with your emails, your family email today, that shows you a really good step-by-step instruction on how to plant a seed and care for a seed and what it looks like when it grows. So look through that website to do the activities. Look through the old plants video when I planted the seeds. And I want you to write to me. You can write to me on paper. You can type it however you want to tell me the steps you need to plant a seed and how to take care of it once it's planted. If you want to maybe make a book and draw pictures with it, that's great. That's bonus. But all you really do need to do is make a little write-up, so a writing piece in your writing journal or somewhere else that tells me how to plant a seed and how to take care of it, how to take care of your plant once it's growing. Well, I hope you've been enjoying the plant videos, and we'll check in next week for some other activities and to see how our plants are growing. Hope those other ones sprout up. But for now, I'll see you later, and make sure you're relaxing. It's Healthy Minds Week. Bye!